Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Jane Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Jane Lorenzo.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of Van Helsing on Syfy, which was Season 3, Episode 4, called Rusty Cage. So yeah, back with another Van Helsing review, and compared to the first few episodes, this one was pretty different in terms of perspective. And now, while I still maintain that last week's episode, I Awake, was probably the most unique of the series, literally taking us back in time, I feel like this one is sort of a unique one in its own way. You know, we had gotten at least a couple like this last season. But again, in terms of perspective, we see it centers around almost completely our villains of the show, our antagonists, which they, still clearly are. But we see it mainly with centered around Sam and Muhammad, and we get a little bit more of a look into Sam's past. We had a pretty good, pretty much a solo episode concentrated on this last season. There's not a whole lot of new information given with their dynamic, but Muhammad's under Sam's wing, and then we see this mysterious figure that's appeared to Sam for quite a long time now. A little bit more of a look into his childhood and everything, seeing more of his time at this very school. So I enjoyed that. Christopher Heyerdahl does a really nice job with that. Just the way he handles Sam's mannerisms all the time makes him one of the creepiest and most imposing villains of the whole show. We'll have to see how this dark one is, once we get there. But for now, I'd still say Sam is probably the most threatening villain on the show. And again, that's a lot of that is due to Heyerdahl's performance. And then we also see them stalking this kid Felix that we had seen last season back with Mike and Chad's group. And I like sort of the parallel hunts that were going on with Sam and Mohammed and Mike and Felix. I think I sometimes get that guy's name mixed up, but as they were looking at the deer, and the deer, by the way, looked better than a certain deer that was on The Walking Dead a couple seasons ago. So there's that. So overall, I definitely liked this episode. Me, my favorite episodes are always centered around Vanessa, but I appreciate episodes like this as well. There's shows that wouldn't flesh out these dynamics as much, or there's ones that would splice it, with, seeing where Vanessa and the group's at, which, I wouldn't necessarily mind either because, Vanessa, but, for me, though, my favorite part of the episode personally was probably the time we got with Ivory and Scab, who I'm even more surprised to see sort of like a concentration on, but, I like it. Both Rowland and Jennifer do a really nice job as, sort of their, with their character work. And we see them hold up, under, I forget, some kind of truck, and, they try to fend off these humans a little bit. And then these, stronger vampires show up, these daywalkers, and just, tear those people apart. And then Ivory is pulled out, and, she's able to actually, some pretty good, looking choreography there, or at least, violence, impaled through the head and everything. But then we see one of them overpower her because, she's kind of been just out there for a while, and bite her. But now it seems like Ivory's the Daywalker now too, and she makes Scab the same way. So I liked it. It's different. Seeing Scab actually show sort of distress or worry over what they're going to do to Ivory. And just to see one of the vamps also get up and just pull the thing out of his head. But yeah, so I'm happy that they're actually trying to make perhaps Scab and Ivory more key players than we realize. And I definitely wonder what it'd be like if they and Sam came together for sure. We see that the sisterhood has been pretty much ruined. So that again was probably my favorite part of the episode. I probably would have liked this episode even more than I already do if we got a little bit more of them in this. I'm definitely intrigued to see where they're taking both of them going forward. It seems like Muhammad's a little bit unable to control, sort of his feelings. Sam wants him to go about it a certain way and, be worthy to this, this mysterious woman or whatever it is. I wonder if it ties into anything with the Ba or anything like that. I'm sure there's, some kind of forced parallel out there between these two. But, he ends up seeing Felix as sort of more mature or more sort of adapt to his tutelage. And he traps Muhammad, maybe to teach him restraint or, put him through this to, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to understand Sam's plans, but, I like this episode. It's not probably my least favorite of the season so far, but when I say that it sounds bad, but no, just because we've gotten some really strong Vanessa episodes lately, but this one deserves a spot too. And I'm still rating this one about an 8.5 out of 10, and I hope you guys are enjoying the season of Van Helsing as well, because the showrunner, Neil LaBute, he said this episode is really important ratings-wise for a season 4 renewal. And I feel really awful about that because I feel like I've been a great supporter of the show, but the irony is that I work every single Friday, and so I can't really contribute to the live ratings. I'm not sure how much on demand contributes to any of the show's survival. I tweeted about it. I hope you guys watched it. I haven't seen the ratings number for it yet. But it's pretty much been about 0.4 all season so far, 0.39, 0.40. So hopefully, I hope that if Winona Earp got season 4, that Van Helsing did as well, because they're pretty similar ratings-wise. I can look up Winona Earp right now, which is a show I also enjoy to an extent, but I definitely hold more for Van Helsing. But yeah, they're generally about the same. I mean, some of Winona Earp's ratings this season were closer to 0.5 and everything, but it finished sort of around 0.34, 0.39. So yeah, I know Winona Earp has a pretty strong following and sort of social media presence, especially on Twitter. But again, we'll see. I'd hate for Van Helsing to get axed, because the more we see of the story being built up, there's a lot of pieces at play, and they really seem to know how they're connecting all of them. So I'd hate to see that cut off prematurely. And trust me, I would not be very pleasant on that day if it were to come. But yeah, so overall I like this episode, very different. Maybe not favorite, but appropriate. I was definitely interested. So let me guys know about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.